Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Goo. I'm a breast cancer warrior and the CEO of Swayshore. I want to give a shout out to Stuck in the Middle for having me here in the studio. It is an awesome episode. There's some awesome things going on there. You have to check it out. Stuck in the Middle.
Yeah. It's another episode of Stuck in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Reflex.
I'm AK.
Yeah, man. Welcome to another edition, listeners and watchers, man. I'm excited for this one, bruh.
Yeah, me too, fam.
Let me know who we got in the building today.
Hey, man. Dude, man. It's about to be lit. It's about to be very educative. It's about to be emotional. So, if you're a crier, just, put a box of tissue right next to you because...
I don't know about that yet. Let us know who got in the building, man.
Nah, today in the building, we have
sir.
a breast cancer survivor and warrior,
Yes, sir.
who sadly also lost her cancer.
Yeah.
She's the... Man.
You tearing up
deep.
already, bruh?
This is deep, man. This is deep. Because, man, anyways, she's the CEO of Swayshore. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Gwendolyn Goo to Stuck in the Middle.
Thank you.
Man.
Welcome to the podcast, yo. You coming from New York.
Yes, she
Yes.
is.
Before we went on, I was like, I'm honored. Drove down from New York for
I sure
Stuck in the
did.
Middle podcast. How was your
On
drive,
my
by the way?
birthday.
Oh,
By the way, happy birthday.
today's
Happy
your birthday.
Yeah, today's
Yes,
her birthday. Yep.
Today is my birthday.
Happy,
So,
talking to Mike. Happy birthday, yo. I'm not going to ask you how old you are.
I will tell you if
Hey.
you ask.
How old are you?
I'm 30 today.
30.
I am
Yo,
so
this is
glad
monumental.
Yes, and
On her 30th
birthday.
birthday,
She shows up.
she drives down from
Yes.
New York to Maryland for Stuck in... Yo,
Yeah,
I'm giving you a hug at the spot.
that's right.
Yo, welcome.
Thank you.
How's life?
We thank God.
We thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
Yo, for folks who are watching right now, who is Gwendolyn Goo?
I see myself as so many things. So many things. Like I wear so many crowns. I'm a warrior, like AK said. I am a mom, a great one.
Oh, I ain't mad. I ain't mad.
Yeah, which is one of the best things to be. Yeah. I am professionally, I am a nurse. Yeah. I am a daughter, sister. Moreover, I'm a very caring person, caring, loving. I see myself like a very positive person too.
Like, for a person who's been through all that you've been through, ain't no way you cannot be a positive person. But how are you able to be a positive person, though?
I think with God being in front of everything I do, I look up to Him first. I think that's where I get my strength from in carrying on in every day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, just to, elaborate on your question, and for those who are watching right now and who are like, wait, what is Reflex talking about? You were diagnosed with stage 3 cancer at 27.
Yes.
That's 3 years
And-
ago.
Yes.
2015. Yes.
And you lost your son to cancer too.
Yeah. 7 months ago.
How old was he?
He was 5.
Walk us through when you first heard your diagnosis from the doctor, when the doctor came out and said, Gwendolyn, you got stage 3 breast cancer. Walk us through that to losing your son at 5 years old to right now.
That's a very long story. I'm going to tell you. Well, cancer is, first of all, one of those things that you just don't get up one day and you think it's going to happen to you. And me as a person, I have never had anybody close to me gone through that. I have never seen anybody gone through that that's close to me. Nobody in my family, no, nobody I know that's close to me. So one day, 2015, coincidentally, I just noticed I had a lump in my breast while I was taking a shower. So I said, you know what? You'll have to see a doctor for this. I went to the doctor and I told him, like, okay, doc, I feel a lump in my breast. And of course, he told me, you know what? It's nothing. He really brushed that out and he said it was nothing without even checking. I went out and I came back in my gut feeling and I said, no, you didn't check this. So he did check and he actually thought, yes, related lump, but he really thought it was a cyst because very few cases would you see somebody that young have cancer, breast cancer, to be precise. So, anyways, I went for a sonogram, and they told me it was gonna take like a week or so for my doctor to get the results, and I just could not wait.
Yeah.
I decided to go to the emergency room, and I told this doctors and nurses like I'm in so much pain. Really, I was not in pain, but I just wanted to get checked. I
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
just
have
want to get
answers.
answers right. Yeah.
Yes, like so they said okay. They gave me medications for pain, which I took.
Okay, yeah, that's so sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy because I do the same thing. You know, so I go to my doctor and I size the pain just because I want her to actually check me out, and I
Yep.
just be like, oh, do this, and then get out. You know?
Yeah, and even though they gave me that, they actually thought it was a cyst. And God being so kind, this doctor said, "You know what? If you want, you can wait around and get a sonogram." I said, "I would love to. I would love to." So I waited around and I saw a radiologist who also thought it was a cyst and assured me it's nothing. Long story short, I went home after the sonogram and just nobody ever called me back. It took like 2 to 3 weeks for me to get a call from the doctor.
Dang.
Yeah. I got a call while driving one day, and the doctor was like, "Remember me? I'm the doctor from the hospital. You came." I said, "Yeah, I do." It was so hard for me because first I got this news while I was driving. I didn't get it in person from the doctor. So first I thought, okay, this is just a dream. It's not happening. It's not happening. So anyway, she called me and she said, unfortunately, the the lump happened to be
Cancers.
cancer
Yeah.
because the day I went, I did a sonogram and I did a biopsy, which is they go in and take a tissue from the tumor or wherever, and they go to the lab and test it, and then it came out positive. So she told me that day on the phone. Of course, that day is one of the most I don't know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Has,
devastating days of my life. But today I know that that's not the worst day of my life.
has anybody? Is it like? Is it in your family? Has anybody in your family been had cancer before?
Just me first before my son.
So is it? I mean, like, did you have you gone back in time, like ask moms or your grandparents to see if it's actually something that's in the family?
Nobody.
First of all, is it hereditary? His cancer?
Yeah,
Yeah, because cancer, for some people, comes with your gene mutations. You could take it pass. Your parents could pass it on to you. Yeah, and then you pass it on to your kids and all that. For some people, yeah.
So, like, with that in mind, before we went on, I asked you, is there anything off limits? Do you ever think about your son passing as like, and feel some kind of guilt, anything, or how your son passing? How?
Like 2 days ago, I was at work and I came to my mind and I was like, was there anything that I could have done differently that would have made him to still be here today? And then I told myself again, after asking myself that question, I said, okay, what if God comes today and say, yes, if you had given him just organic food, he would have been alive. What difference would it make now? When each and every second passes in our life, we can have it back.
that's true. That's
And
very true.
really, I know I can't find closure in even having all those answers. Yeah, I would just keep hurting myself thinking
Yeah.
that way. So I always try to balance that up when those thoughts come to my mind, because I'll be like, yes, what even if I have those answers now? What difference does it make?
I mean, before we even proceed, with this episode, I just want to give a shout out to iHeart Health Expo. Ali Mufo and the organization, because that's how I actually
Gotcha.
found out about you and
Yeah.
everything. And I just like we felt like it's a story that we have to share some shed some more light onto. Um, I've been doing a little research on cancer, and a lot of people talk about not being a survivor but a warrior. In your own terms, could you distinguish that for us, please?
Yes. I say that all the time that I'm not a survivor. I am a warrior. For instance, like tomorrow morning, yes, I'm going to go in for minor surgery to take out a port, which I have in my left right chest. Left, yeah. Which that port, that's what we used to administer chemo with. Normally, the doctors would keep you there for so many years, maybe say 5 years, because they always have this belief that cancer could always come back. So they will give you a window, say 5 years before they take it out, just in case they don't need it anymore. Yeah. So in that case, you don't say I survived, because they themselves know that you haven't survived. That's why they will keep that port inside of you for all that time. Yeah. So that's why they will say you're in remission. You're not done. We can only pray and do checkups and hope that it doesn't come back. So for me, I think being a warrior is a better term than surviving, because we are all warriors. For me, that's what I think. And we all have something going on in our lives, in our bodies. That for me, I always say, like, don't feel sorry for me, because at least I know what I have. Like you don't know what you have until you find that out. We all have something going on, and we are all surviving every day
Yeah.
from those things that our bodies are fighting, and things that we know and the things that we don't know. Yeah.
That's facts. So, what was the treatment process like, and how long was it?
It was I actually had
Chemo?
6 months of
Was chemo like the first thing you was like, yo, I'm just going straight chemo, or it was like something the doctor proposed? Because some people are like, I'm never going to chemo route. Did you know prior to your diagnosis,
sometimes,
like,
yeah, sometimes I wonder how I went through. Most times I even went through all the things I went through the way I did, because now I'm like, what was even running through my mind? Yes. It's funny how God will prepare us for the things that are yet to come.
Yeah.
And at that time, we don't know that God is preparing us. I'll tell you, one of the things that God really prepared me for this journey, I think, is when I was in nursing school, I had gone to the OR and I met this doctor. He was great. He didn't have any medical students. So he asked me to scrub in, meaning we went in to do a surgery, and I had to go with him. Mind you, I was a nurse and he's a doctor, and I'm there with him. What happened is, this guy he's doing a surgery on had breast cancer. So we were doing a surgery on a guy with breast cancer. And I was like, okay, wow. And this guy practically showed me everything. Went in, showed me the lymph nodes and everything. Little did I know that God was preparing me for this journey. And when I got diagnosed and I went to the hospital, guess what doctor they gave me?
Same doctor.
Same doctor.
dang.
Yes, he really felt so bad that, and he thought he scared me, or he was wishing like, I hope I didn't scare you. And I, where we had this, I'm like, no. So I'm just saying, God really prepares us for our journeys in our lives, and I believe that a lot, because I could start telling you there's so many things that God had prepared me for this journey. Like another one is still when I was in school, we normally would write papers to the higher people in the community. So, like to the president, you have to say what you want to be changed, what you want them to change in healthcare.
Right.
So I had picked. At that time, there was this trend on the internet or on social media for this lady who had cancer, and she wanted to die, and she went to Oregon. I don't know if any of you would remember that. And she just wanted to go get a pill. It's legal in Oregon to get that pill, and You can
Physician
die.
assistant suicide.
Then you
Yeah.
can die peacefully. And I felt so strongly
Dang.
for that story. Then I wasn't diagnosed, mind you. So when we were in school, I had written to the mayor of New York, and I said that is one thing that I would like them to change, or to add, or to make it legal in New York, because I don't see how somebody could be this sick and they choose to go and it's certain that they're gonna die, and you would stop them from going. For me, I still strongly believe. Now I even believe more because I've watched my son gone through that. I have gone through that myself. Yeah. So I did write about that, and months later, I found out I was diagnosed, and my dean was like, "Wow, yeah."
Man.
Was your son diagnosed before or after you were diagnosed with
You
cancer?
said,
Just like I said, like God does things, you will not believe this. The last day of my treatment,
man,
my son got diagnosed.
dog.
That's
I
bad.
was in the hospital when his teacher called me.
Wow.
Yeah, then he was
How
acting
long did he
strange.
live with brain cancer?
11 months.
So that's pretty much like you know his pain, but there's not much you could do to help him.
Yeah.
What, man? I'm just trying to think of the what like the emotions that were going through you at that time. Like, could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. I still talk today to my social worker in therapy sometimes, and I ask her, like, how come all this time I never thought that my son would die? I always had this faith, and I kept thinking, like, he's gonna survive, he's gonna survive. It never crossed my mind to think that he was gonna die. And even when I go to the hospital and the doctors would be like, okay, this treatment, we haven't seen it working for anybody, or I would tell them, you know what, this is gonna be the first case you're gonna see. And they always be like, we haven't seen somebody with so much positive. Like I always say, he's gonna be the first. Until when Corey was really at that stage where he was really dying, that's the only time it dawned on me, like, okay. Till now, it still scares me that he's gonna die. It still feels like he's really there with me still. And when I think of it like he's gonna die, I really get scared. And it's been so many months after that. Yeah. But like sometimes what comforts me is, as human beings, we always tend to be very selfish. I ask myself, would I had wanted him to stay with me and go through all that pain? Or go somewhere where it's better? I think he's better where he is.
Man, I think so too. It's made a warrior out of you. You're a cancer warrior, and has birthed 50 Shades of Pink. Tell us what 50 Shades of Pink is.
Like I said before when we started, that I wear so many crowns. I believe going through all the things that I went through, I have learned so much in the process. And like I said that yesterday to the group of friends I had around, that we only show to the world what we want to show them, and they only know what we decide to
That's
show them.
facts. Yeah, yeah.
You could only know that I'm in pain if I show you that I'm in pain. If I choose not to let you know that I'm in pain, you wouldn't know that. And we all go through so many stages in life. Even like in a day, we go through so many different kinds of emotions that comes and go in different shades. 1 minute you could be happy, the next minute you're sad, the next minute you're anxious. We just have different shades as even human beings. We do have so many shades in our characters, in the way we do things. The way you treat me is not the same way you treat AK, or the same way you're going to treat somebody else. We all act in different shades at different times in our lives. Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish with 50 Shades of Pink? What's your goal with it? Like, what do you want people to take away from me? How do you want it to be impactful?
Um, like AK had mentioned, the switcher, it's something that I'm greatly working on because I strongly believe that it is for a reason that I had to go through all the things that I had to go through. Because God had really prepared me for all of this in so many ways. I have learned so much in the journey that I am in right now. And so we're working so much on this switcher to help so many people, especially in Cameroon. Sometimes I think about it and I say, gee, when I was in Cameroon, there's no way I'll be 6 feet under.
Yeah.
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 No way. Even if I was not, I would not go through the things that I went through the way I went through them. No way. No way. And we, like there, we need a lot of work to be done, not just with people going through cancer. We always think that those are the people that are suffering, the people going through it. No, when I suffered was when my son was sick. It's always the people that are around us that suffer the most.
That's true.
Yes, not even the person going through that. Sometimes I say, what if I had died when I was sick? Ha, it wouldn't have been so much for me like if I had died and left my kids behind or my family. They're the ones suffering because now you're going to ask me, how did you feel going through chemo? I didn't really feel less of a person going through that. I know, and I still know that for us, each day, for everybody, each day is like the last day for us. We should leave that. Like they say, yes, I could be sick like I was, and I got well, and somebody else is not sick, and they get out there and then get hit by a car. Die. So many people die of a flu,
Yeah.
Yeah.
malaria, or whatever, and I didn't die of cancer. So for us all, every day is a blessing.
Yeah.
Every day.
I want to touch on, Sway Show, but before that, since we on, the topic of 50 Shades of Pink, you also, were privileged to wear the bra dress.
Yeah.
Shout out to Afu Sam,
Yep.
the designer of the bra dress, and
Yeah.
also again shout out to I Heart Health for, linking you and her together.
Right.
What was it like, and what is the bra dress?
I am like honored to even see that dress.
Yeah.
Top list of wearing that dress. You know, I look at it and I'm like, this lady put a lot of thought into this.
It took me a minute to recognize it, actually.
Who would think that? Who would think
Yeah.
of something like that? It really meant a lot to me. Like,
Oh wait.
It-
It
it
just
is-
clicked. It's a dress.
it is a
Made of bras,
dress.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, you don't read I Heart Health?
I do, but like I've seen the pictures and everything, but
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
it took Ali about 10 minutes to actually explain, because every time she says a bra dress, I'm looking at her. I say I don't.
You don't get it, right?
So I literally had to
Yes.
picture, like I flipped the picture around to see it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
She actually made the dress with bras. That was so thoughtful of her, and I wanted to have been
Part of it.
one of the people to wear that. And she's thinking of putting it in a museum.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, my daughter's gonna go there one day and say my mother wore that dress. Yeah, yeah. It was a great privilege.
So why are you? Two questions. Do you think, first of all, why did you name it Sway Shore? Secondly, mention Cameroon and how everything that you've been through and being a warrior coming out of it. Do you think we talk about it enough as far as cancer, breast cancer, and things like this in the African community, in the Cameroonian community?
That's a topic on its own.
That's another podcast.
Let's start with why I called it
Sway.
Sway Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted something that was different, that was powerful. And then I thought of, like we said, we just talked about the 50 Shades of Pink. Sway is something that swings. It could be pink, dark pink, it could be light pink, it could be it's cancer. We have so many kind of cancers too. Brain cancer, breast cancer, whatever kind of cancer. So it all swings. So I want to actually have a base where people who go through cancer could come and feel like, okay, we also have a place. We have a place where we could share how we feel. We could talk to somebody that has gone through this and they could give us hope. Like, okay, I could make it too if you did make it. So we already explained what sway was. So a shore is like a place where it's calm, the sea shore. You can relax and meditate and get your life back in place.
Makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, so that's why I called it Sway Shore.
I dig it.
Thanks.
Do we talk enough? Like, just do we talk enough about cancer? And it goes more than just talking about it. What can be done about preparing people for it and people who are suffering from it, like getting help? Like you said, you would have been 6 feet under if you went
Yeah.
Cameroon.
Yeah. You see, when I got diagnosed and I got a lot of help in America, they have so many organizations there that will help cancer patients. They'll pay your bills, they'll do everything because you can't work and all that. And one of my friends told me one day, why is it that they treat you guys like that's the only disease that is on this earth? So I looked at her and I said, yeah, I pray you never get cancer. Then you understand why. Yes. In Cameroon, even the Cameroonians that are even in the Western world, we still believe in so many things that are just, I think, are not true. Like somebody had told me, don't take chemo. Don't even think about it. It's poison to your body. Just pray. Those are the beliefs that we have. The worst is that so many people think it's witchcraft.
Cancer.
Cancer. Yeah, you would not believe this, but yes, so many people think that it's witchcraft. Imagine somebody who is in Cameroon and gets a lump in their breast and really knows that they have a lump in their breast. They might just not even go for checkup. The first thing they want to do is maybe have a grass to drink. I'm not saying they're not working, but I think the first step is always to go know what is happening to you before you even go in for treatment. And so many people, they'll believe, even if they get to the stage where they're dying, they'll still say, okay, it's the lady at the back of the house or the lady next door or the man that is bewitching me. And what I have noticed and gone through with cancer is, in every other disease, is that first it comes with your mental state. If you're not mentally prepared to get well, it's hard to get well.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it is. It's just like a placebo effect. Like sometimes they could tell you, I just gave you medication for your headache, which I did not give you. And because your mind's already said that, okay, I got medication for headache, you might just have that headache go away without even actually taking the medication. So we don't have that milieu in Cameroon where we give support to our own, especially to families and to the people who are actually sick, to be mentally prepared to walk that walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned in one of your, Facebook blog posts, and I'm gonna just read this verbatim. Grief is like the ocean. It comes in waves. Sometimes the water is calm, and sometimes it is overwhelming. We just have to learn to swim. I felt like, and this is just me thinking, I felt like, with the organization you're building, the Sway Shore
Sway
and
Shore,
all
yeah.
that, is that like a tagline? Is it something that, drives you to, create Sway Shore? Touch on that.
I have so many ideas in my head running through with so many things that I've gone through. Grief also is one thing that I'll always say Cameroonians because those are the people I interact with most. And we still don't understand that grief is a personal something. The way you handle grief is not the same way I handle grief, and it's not going to be the same way you handle grief. And sometimes I post my son's pictures, and then somebody will say, "Oh, let that child rest. Oh, you post his pictures a lot. Oh, you worry too much. Oh, don't even talk about him." People don't want to hear it, but then we don't understand that grief is a process. You can't shut people down, and really, our culture is designed in the way that we have been shut down a lot. Growing up, that's why they say American kids are different from our
African,
Cameroonian
yeah,
kids.
yeah,
Yes.
that's
Or
facts.
African, yes. We are being shut down. You have to shut down your feelings. You don't have to deal with it. And that is something that we really have to do a lot of work on that. And yes, it's going to be one of those things that Swisher is going to be working on a lot, because it is very hard to lose someone you love. It is very, very hard. It's not just about losing them, it's about living without them.
Yes.
It's very hard to live, to learn how to live every day without somebody you have learned to live with for so many years.
That's tough. I want to take it a little bit of a controversial side. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people who believe this out there, that there is in fact cure and treatment for cancer, but you know what I'm saying, government and the powers that may be are just holding it back for the sake of the big pharma. You know what I'm saying? Because cancer is there's a lot of money, patients, and healing and treatment process. When you hear stuff like that, what do you think?
Ask me, I believe them.
Me too.
Yep. Cancer is a big money making business. Before my son died, I looked at his bills that came home and I was like, what? $100,000? What?
Who's going to pay?
It is a big money making business. When I got diagnosed, I was like, how come I got cancer? I'm not sure I had cancer. At some point, I got that feeling. I said, what if my doctor said, what if I'm a victim where they just tell you have cancer so they make money
Yeah,
out of
you
you?
know what I mean?
Yeah. It happens. We even saw it on TV one time. There was this doctor somewhere who was actually diagnosing his patients with cancer when they really
Didn't
did
have-
not have cancer.
Dang.
Because they
And you gonna
get
put them through
paid a
chemo and
lot
all
of.
that stuff?
Yeah.
They did go through chemo. A lot of people did go through that because they get paid a lot of money when they do diagnose you with cancer. The pharmaceutical company will send them the chemo, and then insurance is gonna pay it, and then they're gonna have a commission from that or whatever they're gonna pay doctors,
Dang.
and then they make money. I totally think so. And then it was one time on the news in New York where they said they have machines that was actually giving cervical cancer for women. It was on the news. And then the other day I was thinking,
Bro, that's OC.
where
That
have
OCs,
the story died down? What did they ever try to investigate to find out who was behind this? Why would you bring it to the media and don't work on it? We never
Right.
heard the end of that.
Shish.
Yes, they do.
Shish. How's your man? That's really OC. But anyways, how has your perspective changed since you were diagnosed with cancer and you actually beat cancer?
A lot. I have learned a lot since I got diagnosed. So many things have happened in my life in the past 2 years. I got diagnosed, my son got diagnosed, I got divorced, my son died. And that process, I realized that there is truly a God. There is truly, truly a God. Because in all of that, I have never walked by myself. He has sent so many people into my life during that process that were there when they had to be there. And so many people left my life in that process because they could not walk that walk with me. Their place was not in my life too. I have also learned a big lesson that God is everybody we see every day. I'm sitting here. I know that you're God, and I know AK is God, and I know that I am God because He said He makes us in His image, right? Who else?
It's funny you're the second person I heard say that. Kanye said that before.
Kanye.
Yeah,
Who
Kanye
else?
said that before.
Who else is God? Because every time I needed somebody to talk to, even if I open my Bible and I talk to God and I pray or I read the Bible, I still need to talk to a human being. And He's going to send somebody to come into my life and talk to me. And that person is God.
You again. You said everything is on the table. Did your husband,
Ex husband, you mean?
ex-husband? Let me get it straight. My apologies.
It's okay.
Your ex-husband, was it through, you know what I'm saying, the diagnosis process? It's like, yo, I can't deal. I gotta get out.
Well, like I said, any union, and it can be marriage, it could be just normal friendship, or it could be with your mother, with your father. You have differences. But there are times in life when things happen to you and you're going to look at life in a different way, like I did. Today, more than 2 years ago, there are things that I will not take from anybody that I would have taken from somebody if I was not diagnosed. Now I take my life more seriously. Now I believe that I come first before anybody. I cannot do for you if I haven't done for me 1st. So, with those things in mind, and I know that my happiness is all that I live for, because I can't give to you if I don't have. You can give what you don't have. I can't make my daughter happy if I am not happy. And I can't make my family happy if I'm not happy.
That's true.
Yeah. And I had put in my mind, if you're giving me any kind of negative energy, no matter who you are, your place is not by me. It's somewhere else. Because all I need around me, and I create that for myself before anybody creates it,
Yeah.
is to have the positive energy going on.
Yeah.
So at that point, I pick up on little details that maybe I would not have done that before, and unfortunately, things went the way it went between us. So,
So it says, say,
yeah.
breast cancer invaded your body, but it did not invade your spirit. After all that you just said,
I think it invaded my spirit in a positive way.
explain. On top of what
Like
you
I
already
say,
said.
when we go through things like that, today so many people see me and they're like, yesterday I had my friends come home. We were celebrating my birthday because I was gonna be here today.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, you got to turn over. Yeah, cool. I feel better.
Yeah. So
I feel better.
everybody kept saying, "Oh, the things you go through, you've gone through," and then I turn around and I say, "You know what? All we forget to say is all the things that went right in this whole process. So many things went right. I succeeded in finishing school. I passed my boards. I got a job. I'm a better person today. I say today, like you asked my age, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna tell you," because I'm so proud of who I am today, of the person I am at 30. That I would tell anybody my age like this. I don't know why people don't tell their ages, but I'm like, at 30, I am this, I am that, I am that. And I'm so thankful to God for taking that far away, the things that I've gone through. And going through breast cancer, like you said, has built me to be a very, very strong woman. I have reached those places in my soul that I never had reached them if I was never diagnosed.
All right.
Yes. Now I know my strengths. I know how strong I can be. I know that somebody else cannot move me if I have not chosen to be moved.
Dang, I like that. Man, I was just gonna ask you, like, for somebody going through cancer or suffering and listening to this, and you know, saying like, man, I'm where you were. what is your advice for them? But I think you just like ta, 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 you just sprayed up. You just drop mad keys, yo, like from the
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah.
Now you are strong.
She is
Thank
strong.
you.
And speaking of strength, right? This question just popped up in mind. This is a very weird comparison, but anyways, cancer and childbirth. Which one is more powerful?
Cancer.
Okay, I was just curious.
You know what? Childbirth is one of those things that it's painful, but it is beautiful. You know that what is coming is joy. You would. Are you serious?
Yeah.
If you ask a lady,
I mean,
they will
but I
have 2, 3, 4 kids.
I mean, exactly. I was just gonna answer
If
that
you ask
question.
me
even
to
for
have
you.
cancer again, would I want to have it?
Nah.
No.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I'm gonna quote a lyrics. At the dawn of every new day, lights approve that night will fades. Like a mother who sees a baby's face, then she smiles. It's like girls, they scream like, you know what I'm saying? Ah,
Yeah.
and then when the baby comes, they turn around, oh, I can't wait for the next one.
Yes. They do
But
that.
I can imagine cancer, yeah.
No
yeah.
way. Nobody would want to have
Yeah,
cancer.
that's true.
Dang.
Cancer is one of those things. I don't think the pain is about physical. It beats you mentally. It's a mental thing. It's just like you wake up every day and you're like, okay, I read about so many people who went through cancer, and this lady, from the day she got diagnosed, she started writing letters to her daughter every day till she died.
Wow.
The daughter was small. And yes, people start preparing at that time to get diagnosed. No, we all gonna die someday. We should prepare now. I don't have to wait. I've learned that I don't have to wait to get diagnosed with cancer to prepare to die. Like I say all the time, I'm not scared of dying. We should all not be scared of dying. We all gonna die. It's a fact. It's inevitable. What I'm worried is, how am I gonna die? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
How am I gonna die? It's not that I'm gonna die. If I have to die today, it's okay. We can run away from that. It's okay. But how is that process?
And what's the legacy you're gonna leave behind? I think you're doing an amazing job with everything that you've explained with Sway Shore and 50 Shades of Pink. I think what you're gonna do with that and what you're doing with that is gonna leave a tremendous legacy for both you and Curry, your son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, right? For people who have family members or friends, who are dealing with breast cancer, brain cancer, all that stuff. What advice do you have for them? Because for me personally, I find it hard to approach somebody who is ill for whatsoever reasons. It's kind of hard. So, what advice do you have for people dealing with that? Like, how can people relate with somebody
Right.
suffering?
I've been very fortunate to have a lot of people contact me from so many parts of the world. So many. I'm really happy that they do that. Why do they do that? Because I had choose to put it out there that, you know what, from day one when I got diagnosed, I have been diagnosed with this, and this is what I go through. And I put up what I had to put up when I felt like I could put it up. And today it helps so many people. And somebody who is sick of cancer would always want to approach me, then approach you, because they have seen, I would say, the strength that I have grown in the process. Because for me, I believe in post traumatic growth than post traumatic stress. I look at the growth that I have achieved towards this. And for anybody who goes through that and contact me, I always tell them, you can do this. It's all in your mind. Even if you have to die, what are you going to do about it? How do you want to die? Sad, depressed, or you want to choose to be happy?
I'm trying to go strong.
It's all our choices to make.
Yeah. How can people reach you?
You can reach me through Facebook, Royal Warrior, or Instagram, Sway Shore, or my email, swayshore@gmail.com, or Those are the main ways to reach me. Oh, my number.
I'm sure they can find it somewhere.
Somewhere.
We're not going to ask you to give it
I
out.
know. I'm like, oh, my number.
They can find it somewhere.
Yo, real quick,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
right? Real quick. With Sway Shaw, right?
Yes.
How can people like? Do you accept donations? Do you?
Not yet. We're
Not
still
yet.
working on building
Oh,
that.
still work on bringing it. Okay.
We're still working on building that. I want to make sure we have built a strong ground where before you want to give your energy, it could be your time, your energy, your donation, it could be anything. It must not be just financial. If you want to put that into it, you should be sure that it's going to bring some kind of outcome.
Being the woman of God that you are, what's your scripture that's gotten you through life or things or your quote?
I can do everything through Christ who strengthens me.
Amen. I appreciate. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tough.
And one thing, for shout out to Eureka Fondumu. Don't forget to go pick up a copy of No Mommy Pekin. No Mommy Pekin Talks, a safe space to be. This copy right here, being the mother that you are, and also for the fact that you drove all the way from New York, down here. I hope Eureka, you won't be mad if we take this time to actually, give you this book on the show.
I'm sure she won't be mad.
Give you this book on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Thank you so
it's a
much.
very
Thank you to Stock in the Middle and to Eureka the Move for this piece. I'm gonna go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
She's a breast cancer survivor, warrior.
yes, sir.
She's also lost a son, sadly, to brain cancer. She's the founder of Sway Shore,
Yes, sir.
50 Shades of Pink. We've
Yes,
been
sir.
talking with Gwendolyn Goo. Appreciate you for coming on Stuck in the Middle podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, wish you the best on everything.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish us all the best.
Stuck in the
We
Middle,
all need it.
Stuck in the Middle
Thank you.
podcast.
Yo, we out.
We out.